Welcome to the Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 4. This is a short scene, longer than the last one, but still kind of short. It's only a few pages. And in this scene, there's a lot of scheming going on. We start off with Lorenzo's conversation with Portia. Portia asks him a favor. We see Portia being kind of crude as she unveils her plan to Nerissa. That's all that's going on in this scene. Lorenzo's conversation with Portia, he's being very friendly to her, right? He's saying that you are being such a friendly person to Bassanio, right? Your lord and husband who has left, and he's left you here all alone to run this household without him, and you're doing such a great job. She's ran this place for years without him. Okay, so Lorenzo's being a little patronizing here. But he also comments on how it's a good thing or a good person who Bassanio is going to see. And Portia accepts the compliments, and she mentions that her husband is a good judge of character and probably is befriending someone much like him, and we know she feels very fondly about Bassanio. So Antonio is the same kind of person as Bassanio. Okay, so that's kind of nice there. And so she trusts her husband's judgment, and in doing so, she knows that Antonio is a good person as well. She asks a favor of Lorenzo, right? Portia says that she needs to go to the monastery to kind of pray about things while her husband is gone. And she asked Lorenzo to run Belmont in her absence. And she even says that all of the servants already know of my wish and they will follow you, just like you were the master here. So it's interesting, now that Portia's married, Belmont needs to be run by a man, right? So that's kind of weird, but Portia is leaving for a different reason. She's not really going to a monastery. Okay. She's not really going to say prayers like she says she's going to do. Lorenzo accepts, says he will run the place as if it was his own. And then we are left with Portia and Balthazar and Nerissa. And Portia gets kind of crude. She says, "Come, Nerissa, I have work in hand that you know not yet of. You don't know what I'm planning, but there's something important going down. We will see our husbands before they think of us. We're going to go see our husbands. So there's something fishy going on. She's not going to the monastery. She's going to Venice to go see the husband." And Nerissa's like, "What? Will they see us?" And Portia's like, "Yes, they shall. But in such a habit that they will think we are accomplished with what we lack. We're going to be dressed as men," right? And there's all sorts of kind of sexist language going in there. You know, what do ladies lack? Okay, so they're going to Venice to dress like men. And then she says, "I'll hold any wager when we're both acquired like young men that I'll prove the prettier fellow of the two. I'll be more handsome than you are even." And then she mentions that I'll wear my dagger with a braver grace. Many times when this play is performed, the dagger wearing pun is, it's an obvious euphemism for penis or something. This is how she's going to be a man. She holds the dagger as such. So it's a little bit of crudeness there. And she's talking about how she's going to be rough and she's going to lie. Talks about how she's going to deny many men and how they've killed themselves and she'll be responsible for their deaths. And it's just a bragging male person about all of these women that he's turned down. And she's going to practice being this young man. And Nerissa says this interesting thing. She says, why shall we turn to men? This has a nice little double meaning. In other words, why shall we turn into men? Why? What are we turning into men for? Or she's like, why shall we turn to men? Are we going to go to men, implying we're going to find some men for sex? So Shakespeare is full of these crazy, raunchy puns. I just wanted to point that out to you. So Portia's being kind of crude here. Here she is, the lady of the house, the Duchess of Belmont, and here she's acting like a man and being really crude in this scene. But we find out what her plan is. She sends Balthazar away. Now, Balthazar should raise a flag. Where have you heard that name? Many of you probably remember, it's like, oh yeah, Balthazar was the name of Romeo's servant in Romeo and Juliet. And here is another servant named Balthazar. It's not the same one. Shakespeare likes to reuse names. For instance, Portia's name is being reused. Portia is Brutus's wife in Julius Caesar. We didn't read the play Julius Caesar, but your other English 2 students might have. We didn't. Anyway, she sends Balthazar away. Give Dr. Bellario this letter and go as fast as you can. So he takes off, and he's supposed to get whatever Dr. Bellario gives to him, whether it's another letter, whether it's clothes, whether it's books, whatever it is, bring it to me. But don't bring it to me here. Meet me at the ferry that takes us to Venice. So Portia's going to leave Belmont, go to the ferry. She's going to wait for Balthazar to get back, and then she's going to go to Venice. They're going to dress up like a man, both Portia and Nerissa. So what in the world are they going to do in Venice, dressed up like men, going to follow their husbands and meet this Antonio person? Could anything possibly go wrong in this? We'll see. We've got one more scene before we get to Venice. We have Lorenzo and Jessica running Belmont there for a bit. We will do that later. That's it for today. Reread this scene and have a great day.